So the DJI Goggles N3 seem to be pretty normal goggles. They are box goggles, a little bit bigger than the other ones. However, you can see that when placed on the face, don't they appear to be angling down a little bit? Well, yeah, there's a big piece of foam at the top here. And when you put it on your face, it really puts it at an angle facing down. And so on my face, with my larger nose, the nose area really pushes on my nose when it's done this way.
You can see how the foam is very straight, and there's a big gap between the face of the screen and the foam and where it starts, and that's what pushes it down on the face.
So these are the goggles N3. You can see the modification I made to the foam. Now the foam is nice, I liked it a lot, but you can see how it's a lot shorter there. So to make that happen, it was actually pretty simple, because you can see that's sort of like the finished edge of the, zoom in here, the finished edge of the foam. And I just made it shorter. So let me do a diagram of that on the screen here.
So if you have the shape of a head, something like this, and you move that down, you can see that it would be great to perhaps remove some of the foam. So instead of cutting the foam out, instead we can invert that and cut the foam out like this and remove this foam and then glue this back to the inside of the face plate.
Okay, and then the way I cut the foam was I used a knife, cut right along the plastic there, and then use scissors to cut that pattern out from behind between the plastic and the foam. And then to re-glue it, I used some 3M77 on the inside the plastic and on the inside the foam, and then push them together to glue it, and then use some clips to hold it in place while it dried. I also put foam, actually the same foam that I cut out from here, and glued it to the inside of the goggles so that I would have more padding on my forehead. Here is the inside. You can see the glue there. Now the foam is a lot thicker than the plastic, and you can see the bottom foam there sticking out, but that didn't seem to be a problem. And then when I'm gluing the top half, I push the edge in, and so it has an almost finished look. I have some residue of the Super 77. I might try to get that off a little bit later, but it turned out really well, and it dries not sticky to the touch. And so this is ready to go and allows me to not have that angle on my head when I put it on. And this is the foam back on the goggles. And you can see, because now this foam is smaller and closer to the front, I decided to increase the padding on my forehead, since my forehead will be pushing against all this flat. And again, with the angle change, the nose area isn't now pressing on the ridge of my nose. And I also took some of the foam that I cut out from the top, and I used double stick tape and stuck it in between the nose area. That just softens everything. And the rubber guarding the nose kind of covers up that foam. Yeah, much more comfortable, much more straight on the face. I really enjoy this modification.